you said that once you realized that you were a female, you felt that you were a female and you were in the wrong body, the first thing you did was do something that does not make someone a female, right? That you just were like, I'm going to get boobs. So that to me shows a tremendous immaturity, right? Now, when other women do this, they're just like, I want to look like Kim Kardashian. This is a trend. Da, da, da,
but
da.
why am
But they're
I
not doing it because they're going, I'm not a woman. Do you get what I mean?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Splash Comments. We're here on my page where we have these conversations and go through the comment section. Today we're doing politics, though, something that I'm really passionate about and I haven't done much of on my channel for a variety of different reasons. One just being, I don't know, a lot of things go through my head and now I'm finally getting to it. So today we have the debate with Candace Owens, Danielle, and Ray J. And I think there's some really good conversations that have happened within this debate that I want to showcase. So we are going to hop right into the first clip right now, and I want to really emphasize, I think you guys should stay to the end because I think that the last clip or the last bit of this conversation is really important, and you really get to see inside the thinking of trans women or people that are more liberal leaning or left leaning. So make sure you stay to the end and enjoy the video.
So I'm going to cut to you, Ray J, because we've all been 17 before. We've all been teenagers. I would almost say that you could qualify the teenage experience as just an identity crisis, like one long identity crisis. You're trying to figure out literally who you are.
Yeah.
That is what adolescence is. And that's why I say, quite jokingly, but kind of also seriously, bring back cigarettes, because now there are just been an explosion of children who think they're non-binary, think they're transgendered. No matter how you estimate it, you know that there were not this many people that were struggling, and like they didn't all become transgendered. And so it is part of this is becoming a contagion, social contagion, social contagion is real, right? So if you see me smoking cigarettes, so everybody starts smoking cigarettes. I mean, that was the reason why cigarettes got popular. You put someone on a poster.
Sometimes when you hit the cigarette and you try to smoke it, you can't inhale it, so you cough.
Yeah, but we stomped out cigarettes. So there used to be the majority of people in America were smoking cigarettes, and it was because of advertising, right? So people were looking, the doctors were telling them it was healthy. That
smoke on the plane.
Exactly. So that used to be a thing in America. And then dial it back, they did the exact thing, the reverse marketing. And we were suddenly learning in school, everyone did the DARE program, and they kind of stomped out cigarette smoking.
With the dog.
Yeah, they kind of they stomped out cigarette smoking in America. And that's actually a joke that Europeans make. Americans don't smoke cigarettes. And so we know that advertising works. We know that you can influence behavior. And that's why I say bring back cigarettes, because now I feel that when the kids were trying to rebel against their parents when we were young, people were like smoking cigarettes, maybe smoking a joint. Now they're like, I'm non-binary, and kind of being sent down this pathway, which for those who really are just struggling with adolescence, there isn't really a way back. So if your child came to you at 17, Ray J, and said, I am born into the wrong body and I want to take puberty blockers, what would you say?
Well, as a parent, my kids are 4 and 6. You don't really know how you're gonna react, but I know for me, I want to be the parent. My kids I want them to be able to tell me anything, like the darkest, the most complicated, like what they're really going through internally, externally. So I would be super open for super support, right? That's the kind of dad I am. Even with my son, he's 4, but there's been times where he's been around and we were shooting, whether it's a movie or something, and there was a lot of women around, and he said, Dad, I love the girls, right? And I went, okay, got it. I mean, I don't know if I should bring him in now because you're only 4, so I wouldn't do that. But hey, that's what you like right now. You came to me and said it. You even told your mom, where are the girls at, Dad, in front of moms? I said, son, we gotta, and so I would just be there for them. And I think as society grows and as everybody gains more knowledge, and you have friends, right? I have friends that are straight. I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are trans, and these are my close friends. And so me personally, I don't care, but I also understand that it's for them to make the choice, not for them to be programmed into a choice that they might not be familiar with, and they're just following the trend, right? So that's the that's where, you straddle the line with everything with marketing and promo. But for me, I mean, I'm in full support of whatever my kids want to do. And,
Heroin,
well, I mean, not that.
pornography.
Not
That's not
that.
comparable.
But I'm saying,
He said I'm in
like,
full support of whatever my kids want to do, and
if
it is
no,
comparable.
meaning like if they were doing that, please come tell me.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I can help you. Like, don't push me out to where you don't feel comfortable with telling your dad that you got a problem, right? So yes, I will be in full support of listening to them and helping them. So as honest as they can be, I want to be the dad to make them feel like anytime I'm going down, anytime I'm going up, whatever, I'm going to always hit my dad and tell him what's going on.
So here we see that Ray J actually had a sort of difficult time answering the question, and he kind of sort of danced around it. I think it's a pretty, for me personally, I think it'd be a pretty black and white answer. I think if my child started to say things like I'm going to be on puberty blockers or things of that nature, I wouldn't put my child on puberty blockers. They're just not old enough to make a decision like that. I understand that you want to support your children, as we all should, but children have all sorts of things going on in their head. It's like if your child says that they want to be a mermaid, you don't just treat your child like a mermaid. So again, I think that this really kind of shows you into really how Ray J thinks, which is kind of alarming, but that's Ray J. Moving on here in this next clip, we listen to Candace Owens explain to Danielle that what Danielle did is something that women wouldn't do. And you'll hear that right now in this clip.
At the same time that you're saying that you were able to make this mature decision to go under the knife or to recognize that you were not a male, I guess would be, I hope I'm okay. You're also admitting that you did something kind of childish, right? I mean, to say I need big boobs because I'm a girl,
childish.
that I wouldn't do that. I'm an actual woman, right? So I wouldn't do that because that just sounds to me like someone who's playing dress up. Like that just sounds to me
it's definitely not.
like because
it wasn't a costume.
But that is because the first thing, if you genuinely thought like this is who I am, the first thing you do is get boobs. That's to me just like this is what it means to be a girl.
Right. But we're talking about very surgically the first thing I did.
But that to me is a costume because women have all different breast size. There are some women that are completely pancakes. Some women that have huge boobs.
I got a new song coming out called Titty for Me. So no, it's all
but that's why I take ownership over the fact that what I'm saying is not being a costume and not copying anyone or anything like that. It was a decision made by me that I thought I needed, and it wasn't any deep regret. It was just later on I was like, I just don't need that size because I knew I needed. But the thing is, we have to be specific that my own friends that are born female have the same thing. Like my best friend literally hates her implants, but she's not a costume.
No, but she's doing that for a different reason, and this kind of gets to my point. You said that after, and I want to slow this down because I'm making a point that I'd like you to understand. You said that once you realized that you were a female, you felt that you were a female and you were in the wrong body, the first thing you did was do something that does not make someone a female, right? That you just were like, I'm going to get boobs. So that to me shows a tremendous immaturity, right? Now, when other women do this, they're just like, I want to look like Kim Kardashian. This is a trend. But they're not doing it because they're going, I'm not a woman. Do you get what I'm saying?
But it is though, because my best friend literally got implants because she, and I quote, she was like, I feel like a boy because I've got no boobs.
Some women want bigger breasts, and some people I don't mind little breasts or big breasts, but women want to go get.
And that's what they say.
Right, but they're doing that because
masculinity.
But you're saying masculinity and femininity are two different things. Right. They don't attach it to whether or not they are in fact they would never go to the doctor and say, if I don't get these boobs, I'm a male.
No, but I didn't think that. I was talking about aesthetically pleasing. That was my point.
But that
oh my gosh, I love that.
Well, the breast. Yeah, that's.
So here again, I think Candace really makes a really good point. If you're a woman, you don't do something to make you feel more as a woman. Generally, like especially when Candace explains it the way that she explained it. I really enjoy Candace because I really think that, she's really on her P's and Q's. She's always consistent with the things that she says and her beliefs and respectful. Notice how Candace is referring to Danielle as Danielle. She's not saying she or her, because that's not what Candace believes. So she's just calling Danielle by her name, and just being respectful. And I think that's really good. I know that's something that I would do, and that's what I do. You know, if you don't agree with the LGBTQ plus way of thinking or the trans way of thinking, you know, just call them by their name. That is their name, and I think they can appreciate that. So here in this last clip, this one's really, really interesting. We get to listen to Candace Owens explain to them why what Danielle is doing is literally the same thing as Rachel Dolezal. I hope I said that right. For those of you guys who don't know, Rachel Dolezal is a white woman who was literally cosplaying as a black woman. And this came out, it was proven, and it was really interesting. Again, she always felt black, she says, and she wanted to be a black woman, so much so that she started to believe that she was a black woman. When neither one of her parents are black, she was just a Caucasian woman. And here in this clip, Candace explains to Danielle that, you know, you're doing the same thing.
$2. I want to go back to that because this is a very important point, and I do feel you're pedaling past because you realize this. It's
I know who
this is
that
this is
I don't know.
this is how.
Back,
okay, well, it doesn't matter. Let's say any individual.
Yeah.
This is an individual who is committed and living as a black person when in fact they were born with parents that are whiter than snow.
So nobody was black.
No, nobody, not even a
similar,
drop
I think,
of,
yeah.
not even like
Ancestry didn't say
I'm
nowhere
pretty sure I've seen this
didn't
on like
even know,
Botched or something.
a Spanish song probably never got listened to a Spanish song. It was not even a drop.
I know among the lines of what you're talking about, because I think I've seen
you
it on Botched
instantly
or whatever.
said,
Yeah.
instantly said,
Yeah.
and have held to the point that Rachel Dolezal is not a black person. So if Rachel Dolezal is not a black person but believes that she is a black person on the inside, what is Rachel Dolezal suffering from?
So for me personally, like I will say once again, because I don't know her story, but based on what you're telling me, I will go back to the point every time that what it sounds like is that she's costuming. That's what it is to me. If Rachel believes she's black, that's not only not my place to comment on. I don't know that girl, so it doesn't bother me. But if someone doesn't believe in what she's doing is right, if it's publicized or whatever, that's their opinion. But do I think that she has a mental disorder? My answer is, who am I to even comment on that?
Yeah,
because
like,
I'm not a psychologist.
Let me just
I
finish.
have no idea.
Okay. I agree with you about Rachel
Yeah.
Dolezal. She is costuming.
Right.
But does she have a mental disorder?
Yeah.
If you are living your life as something that you are not, and you believe inside of you that you are this,
Right.
she's not hurting anybody, but she is suffering from a mental disorder.
Now,
okay,
I
and now
know
this is
somebody
where
that
things get tricky. So you and Rachel Dolezal are actually embodying the exact same thing, right? Both
No.
of you believe.
I was like, please don't say
race and
Candace.
gender.
Please don't put me in that box.
But, but
Come
that anybody
on.
watching this is going, this is a very valid
Yeah.
point. Both
But I
of you
don't think it's
believe that you
valid.
are something that you are not, and you have gone through extremities to live as something that you are not.
That's a costume.
You're not, but
I
this
think-
is a costume, and that's my point. Everything
Trans
you
is
are
not a
saying to
costume.
Rachel Dolezal, you could say to yourself.
I don't think
Right?
so,
Rachel
because-
Dolezal could share a story. Let me just get this out. Rachel Dolezal could share a story and say, you know, from the time I was a kid when I was 4, my mom looked down at me and said that you were showing characteristics of being black. And then when I was in school, everyone was like, Rachel, kind of like, you know, one of the
But
black
she was kind of
people.
thick too, right?
Yeah, Rachel was
was.
kind of thick.
That's what I'm saying. I remember.
Yeah.
No, I
And
do.
the
I
whole
like
thing
like
was
like. So I'm
hey,
like, okay.
you gotta.
Now, I'm interested in knowing what you guys think of this. What do you guys think of Danielle's behavior? Do you think that this is the same thing as a Rachel Dolezal, or not? What do you think of really this whole debate as a whole? Do you agree with Candace? Do you disagree with Candace? Why? I would love to hear your guys' points on the matter. Now we're getting to the part of the video where we go through the comments section, where we listen to what people have said, and then I sort of put in my 2 cents on their comments. Here we are with Mariana. I hope I pronounced that right. So notice how Candace is careful with how she refers to Danielle, not using she, her, but strictly saying Danielle's name, making sure she doesn't contradict herself. Amazing. Yeah, so this is what I thought. I think it's really respectful, and I think it's the right thing to do. If you don't agree with somebody's way of thinking, but you still want to be respectful, call them by their name. It's fine. Danielle didn't take offense to it. It's Danielle's name, and I think everyone is cool. You know, it's a safe place. So I like that Candace did that. HT8259 says, spoiler alert, there is no debate. Men are men and women are women. I agree with this comment. I don't think that you can actually change your gender. But right now, you know, with how the climate is and how sensitive this topic is, there is a whole group of people that disagree. And that's fine. I appreciate Danielle for even having this conversation as it is. Most people in Danielle's position don't even have this conversation. So I really commend Danielle for having the conversation, being open to conversation, especially with someone like Candace, who is very, very, you know, headstrong about her point of view, but she's also very respectful. So I think this was a really, really good conversation to have. Somebody said, I'm convinced Ray J only wanted to use this as a promotional opportunity. And you could be true. That could be true. I know I heard that he actually has a TV show. I'm not sure on what platform, where he deals with trans women. It's like a, what do you call it, reality TV show with trans women. I'm not too sure about that. That's what I've heard. That might be why he did this with Candace. So there could be some truth to that comment. Alexander says, Danielle was really nice, and I appreciate Danielle being open to the conversation. Ray J was just talking nonsense. Candace stood her ground and spoke the truth. Completely agree with this comment. Danielle was super cool. Again, I like the fact that Danielle had the conversation. I do think in the whole interview, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, you guys. A lot of this stuff, Ray J was Ray J. If you guys are familiar with Ray J, he was himself. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that he said or was trying to say throughout this interview, but I appreciate the fact that he wanted to have this conversation, because it's nice that people can look at that and really have a mind of their own, you know, like they can make sense of it from themselves, you know, having the conversation, watching it, being like, that doesn't make sense, or that makes sense to me. You know, everyone could kind of put in their 2 cents. So yeah, I agree with this comment. Angel says, Ray J needs to just stop talking. He makes no sense. The trans woman is speaking perfectly for herself, getting her thoughts and points across. Again, I commend Danielle Danielle really did, I almost said she. Yeah, Danielle really did do Danielle's thing. Danielle, what can I say? Because there's something I want to say, but I want to get it right. Danielle spoke Danielle's truth. That last point, though, it's hard for someone in Danielle's shoes to answer that question, because it contradicts them and their way of thinking. And I hope people really take note of that. Really take note of the last segment. I think it's very telling, and it showcases a lot. And then for the last comment right here, somebody says, Ray J has been in Hollywood since he was a child. You know for sure he's compromised. And I think so. He's definitely compromised. I know he said that he's a Christian, but he's been in the industry since a child. I think his frame of thinking, and I'm pretty sure the way he probably even lives his life, has warped. And it's probably the furthest from a Christian lifestyle as a whole. But I'm not in his shoes. I don't live his life. I just know what I see from the outside looking in. And I could be wrong, but, you know, to each their own. If you stayed this far, thank you for staying this far. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and comment down below. And thank you for getting this far. And I will be uploading again, and tune in next time. See you guys later.